So welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for February 12th, 2025. Before we get started, does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share? Okay, no announcements this week. Bring down
There is the Collaborator Summit. So in April, first week of April, let me get the dates. But the form for signing up is is public. So if you are a Node collaborator, you can fill in and show up. And the form is in the Slack channel, Collab Summit Paris 2025 in the OpenJS Foundation Slack. We are also looking for sessions. So if you're planning to present something, please present something.
Sounds good. Any other announcements before we move on? Okay, if not, we will move on to reminders. So reminder to nominate people for the Collaborator Spotlight. And then on to CPC and board meeting updates. So, Matteo, anything from the board side that we should share this week?
No, not really. It's been a while since we had our last board meeting. There is the next one is scheduled for the 28th of February. In between now and then, there's going to be the CFP and website for JSConf will be live. And as discussed previously, we will get some pre-public. We will get some code to buy the early bird tickets if we want to beforehand, so that we can ensure we have a ticket.
Okay. So that code will be like, but you'd need to use that code before they're sold out. Is that the?
Yes, that's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, historically, the JSConf event has sold out and tickets sell fast. So I don't think I don't know what to expect this time around, but trying to be a little prepared.
Okay. Okay, Joe, anything from the CPC?
I don't think so. I was just looking back at some of the issues and stuff. Joy had mentioned on an issue about discussing the travel budget, particularly with the upcoming Collaborator Summit in mind. But I think we discussed it and don't have any concerns at the moment, barring an influx of a huge number of folks asking, although I think the guidance is to ask several weeks in advance, and so we're kind of getting close to that border, if not already surpassed it. I'm not sure what the exact numbers are, but I think currently we're feeling okay about the travel budget. And I can't think of anything else to bring to the group at the moment.
Okay, sounds good. We'll move on to the issues tagged in the agenda then. The first one is Node.js Node, deadlock at process shutdown. I think, Matteo, you were going to basically informally reach out to people to see if you could find anybody to give some attention to that.
So what happened, I had took somebody from Platformatic team, Stephen Belanger, and asked him to time box it for a few days to take a look. Okay. The current assessment is it's a frigging mess. Okay. It's not easy to unravel. Okay. According to Yagits, we have running the garbage collector, a major garbage collector run before a shutdown will solve the problem. Okay. So there's a deadlock on the garbage collector. Okay. So basically, the garbage collector is waiting for something to be able for something to release a lock, okay? But the thread holding that lock has shut down already, something like that. Fun one.
And I guess the issue about running the garbage collector would be that could delay the shutdown, or
It seems the thing seems it feels hacky, but frankly, I would I don't know if it's possible for somebody if we can trigger the garbage collector from C++. I think that will be better. I don't know if anybody in the call knows how to do that, but I think that can help significantly. I think at least if we until we if it's just some great ape, I would probably take the great ape, all things considered.
I think the garbage collector is supposed to be invoked before shutdown, or like it's supposed to do something when you tear down the heap. It's part of the heap routine. That log you are seeing might come from exactly that. And also there's a way you could invoke garbage collection from C++, but it's from a function that's called something for testing. So this is
Okay.
like
Well, I don't know. Like, if that can make some sense, we can try that and see if it alleviates the stuff, and then decide if we want to take a little bit of crappy code like that in for something for testing in our main shutdown path or not. Okay. I don't know. Did you take a look at the last comments, Joey?
okay, take a look. I would suggest if triggering garbage collection is the way, it can be, we can do it locally to verify that you actually fixed the problem, before actually thinking about making it like merging it, because
Yeah.
that sounds like a hacky, that's like a thing that happens to make it work, but not necessarily actually fixing it. It's just a happen to make it work in that version of V8, but like maybe next version it won't start.
That's the point, right? I agree in that situation. I'm just also wondering, like, should we given the problem, maybe we should just, I don't know, run all our like. It seems that this problem is mostly felt in our CI systems. So the other solution is we run all of our CIs with I don't know, expose-gc, and common just run the GC before we shut down. Okay, like I'm just throwing out ideas, but
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is going to, like, at some point later, in a VA upgrade starts working.
I know, like I am aware. I'm trying to I'm trying to find a solution that does not that removes the amount of flaky tests that we are having for this. Okay, but I have no clue how to what to do to solve the problem, because like I'm going to quote Stephen. Hopefully, doesn't we can invite him if you want in the next meeting. He lives on in the Philippines right now. So whatever. Anyway, so his days are already shut down. Anyhow, the gist is the gist for him is we should like the full thing might need to be like the full block of how we shut down everything might need to be rewritten from scratch, close to get rid of this. Okay, considering that the code is very ugly from my point of view, I'm not disagreeing entirely, but I'm not really like it's a lot of work.
I'm not sure if I can find enough time to actually like debug this, but I also remember that a while back some people from VH Capture Collection team was like have a pull request that that and he says something like, this is not how it's supposed to work. Why are you running the task runners like this? And he has a pull request that I think has a different crash,
Yep.
but that might provide some clue because I don't think the way we run the test runner is correct already. It just happens to work for these years, but it's already not correct. I think it's uh touching related code path similar to what Stephen is touching, but uh it's like just my hunch is that it's something wrong with the way we run the test runners. And you see that being related to garbage collection only because garbage collection are posted as tasks. And usually these tasks there will be some remaining tasks happening around shutdown because when it tears
Yep.
down the heap, it also runs the garbage collection. It also processes some of these tasks. That's why it surfaces. But the deadlock lies in our test runner implementation.
Or task run, not test runner, task runner, right?
Yes, test runner.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So that is my hunch, and
Yep.
it will need someone to debug
Yeah,
the test runner.
it's a huge amount of work. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Essentially.
Does one have to exclude the other? Can we do the quick hack to just get the CI running with what Matteo suggested, that we do expose GC and run it, and then in parallel or afterwards, we can also look at finding the proper solution. I'm a little against this, that we don't do the quick and dirty just because we want to solve it properly, and then we're stuck.
I think you could do it quick and dirty, provided that it actually fixes the problem. You don't need to try. I think the thing is, what is this? I can post it later. It's somewhere in VA isolate. Yeah, like I actually don't know if you can safely call this during shutdown because this will pose tasks to garbage collection. Like by shutdown, you probably want when you probably mean somewhere where you're still like right after you execute user code, not like the part that where we're actually starting to tear down everything, including environment. At that point, it's not safe to even assume that VA is alive. Um,
No, I
but
mean user code. So the solution
yes.
on the test runner would be to add something, either something in common that register on exit handler that calls GC if available, and then just run everything with expose GC.
I think you can like somewhere before or after we call the exit event where we emit the event. That's like basically where
Yeah.
all the JavaScript, all the userland code is but the point where userland is finished, we are going to actually tear down everything. Like right after that, you can call some method from the isolate that I'm forgetting, or something for testing. Request garbage collection for testing. The isolate request garbage collection for testing. And you call it and see if it fixes anything.
Gosh, can you write that into the issue, Joey, so I can get Steven maybe to
Yes.
try it? Thank you. So it's so at least we can see if this is a solution. Otherwise, I really like a solution. If the solution to stick a GC on exit and just invoke everything with expose GC, if that works, you know.
It sort of does what expose GC does, but expose GC has more granular options.
Okay.
Because it's something that VA uses for test. That thing is also a test, but they have fewer necessity for granular control in their simple tests. So.
Okay.
No, it sounds like, if I understand correctly, we think it's a problem in how we run our test runner. So like in that case, it sounds like the right place is what we've been talking about, is to make the test runner run the GC, like as a hack, even like run the GC before it shuts down versus putting that into like Node itself if you're running it without the test runner. Is that right in terms of what I've heard?
I feel like this is probably something you want to opt in for specific problematic tasks instead of doing it for all tests. I suspect that doing that might make the test even more like other innocent tests more flaky.
Okay.
But yeah.
So it could be like another flag, and then you could put that flag, like, in some tests we have the expose internals, but we can also specify other flags. So you could have a flag which is like GC on shutdown, and then you could add that flag to the tests. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I hear you say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go.
Okay, anything more we should discuss on that one? Okay, if not, I'm going to move on to the next issue. The next two issues are talk about how Node.js is funded. There was a couple of issues which Claudio has added to the agenda. I did touch base with him. I don't think there's like a specific question other than like as an FYI. I had shared my mock-up of what like a supporters page might look like with the TSC. That's now in a public discussion item in the nodejs.org repo. So I think this is on the agenda to make sure like, everybody's aware that that discussion is taking place. Please go and take a look at that issue, comment. Just don't want anybody to be surprised and things show up on the website and they're like, well, why did that happen? It's like, well, so that everybody knows there's an issue there, you can go and jump into the discussion. I think that kind of covers the two that are there. And those were sort of long time issues, not necessarily specifically targeted at like the current discussion there, but like they're related and that there were suggestions to turn on the GitHub sponsors and Open Collective, which we've already done. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, comments, discussion on that. Sounds like not. So we'll move on to the next one, which is let's talk about the CI situation, which really, I think the deadlock at process shutdown is one of the concrete things that we're talking about in terms of seeing if we can make progress there. The only other one is like, with the funding, we have included in our funding priorities a test CI lead. So if we manage to fundraise enough from that, that might be another path. Don't really have anything else to add on that one unless somebody else has something. And just some notes here. Okay, so that takes us, let me flip over to the strategic initiatives. So Joey, anything on Startup Snapshot you want to share?
No.
Okay. In terms of next 10, I don't think there's anything new from last week. I did mention where, the team's working on a survey. So if you're interested, there's discussion going on in the next 10 repo in terms of survey questions and some analysis of past surveys that one of the team members has done. So if you're interested in that, jump in. The goal is to try and get that survey out before the collaborator summit. So there's not a lot of time. I'm just looking to see for anybody else we have who's on the thing. I don't see anybody else who's tagged with any of the strategic initiatives. So that takes us to the list of there. So I guess that takes us to the end of the agenda. Is there anything else that we should chat about before we close out? If not, Well, then thanks for everybody's time, and we'll see you in GitHub and next week. And thanks to everybody who's watching on the live stream. Bye.
Bye bye.